Hello, and welcome to the Ultimate Love Life Makeover Dating Mastery for Women. I'm Cami Elen, your host, and I'm so glad that you're here. Each day during this virtual summit, you will learn tips and tools from our world-class experts on all things related to dating and attraction. This wisdom will help you date and relate with unshakable confidence and become a woman who can inspire a great love. We're standing for you to create nothing less than lasting, luscious love, your ultimate love life makeover. And I'm so excited to introduce my next guest expert, Arielle Ford, who will be talking today on the topic of finding love. Arielle has so much valuable info and wisdom to share about preparing for love and manifesting love and all of the steps that you need to keep in mind as you go about doing that, which are so foundational as you're out there dating on your way to love. So this is going to be a really, really great conversation. And before we dive in, let me tell you more about Arielle.
Arielle Ford is a love and relationship expert and a leading personality in the personal growth and contemporary spirituality movement. For the past 25 years, she has been living, teaching, and promoting consciousness through all forms of media.
She is a speaker and the producer and host of Evolving Wisdom's Art of Love series. Arielle is a gifted writer and the author of 11 books, including the international bestseller, The Soulmate Secret, Manifest the Love of Your Life with the Law of Attraction. She has just created the world's first transformational coloring book, and it's based upon The Soulmate Secret, and it's entitled Inkspirations, Love by Design, Coloring the Divine Path to Manifest Your Soulmate. This book blends Arielle's step-by-step method for manifesting love with the romantic original artwork of artist Manja Burton. It's a fun, creative, and powerful process. She's also the author of Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate, and we all want to be able to do that. And she has been called the Cupid of Consciousness and the Fairy Godmother of Love. She lives in La Jolla, California with her husband and soulmate, Brian Hilliard, and their feline friends. And I'm so excited to welcome Arielle. So welcome, Arielle.
Hi, Cami. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a little hot here today. We're having a heat wave, but I'm good.
Good. Well, so glad to have you with us. And why don't we just dive in and have you share with everyone what exactly is a soulmate?
I believe a soulmate is first and foremost somebody you can completely be yourself with, somebody with whom you share unconditional love, and when you look into their eyes, you have the experience of being home. And if you accept that definition, then I have really good news. And the good news is you already have many soulmates in your life. It may be your parents, your children, your siblings, your coworkers, your best friend, even your animals, your cats and your dogs can all be soulmates. And one of the fastest ways to have a romantic soulmate is to spend time every day putting your attention on all the love you already have.
That's a really good way to think about it. And does everybody have a soulmate?
Yes, everybody has lots of potential soulmates. So there's a big fat lie out there in the universe that says we each only get one big love in a lifetime, and it's absolutely not true. According to John Gray, there's actually hundreds of thousands of potential soulmates for all of us. And the thing that I do know is that right now on planet Earth, there are 7.3 billion people alive. Half of them are single. So the truth is you're tripping over potential soulmates all the time.
So for all the women who are listening, how can they use what you call the universal law that can be helpful in finding a soulmate? What is this universal law?
Well, it's called the law of attraction. And the law of attraction states we draw to us the people, places, and experiences that match our state of being. So if your state of being is, I'm loved, I'm lovable, I'm loving, I'm lucky in love, that's what was going to show up for you. But if your state of being is, I'm a loser when it comes to love, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too damaged, all the good ones are taken, the one that was got away, I'm unlucky in love, that too will be your experience, because just like the law of gravity is always working, whether you believe it or not, whether you see it or not, the law of attraction is always working. So what we put our attention on grows. If our attention is on, I'm alone, I'll always be alone, I wasn't meant for love, you're going to get to be right 100% of the time. So it's really my job is to, remind you of what's so. And what's so is that if you have a desire for someone or something, the seeds for the fulfillment of that desire exist. Now, it may be that you want somebody who God, Goddess, the universe knows isn't good for you, and you'll be lucky if you don't get them. So don't think just because you want something and you didn't get it that something's wrong. Okay, that's what a lot of people do. Well, I wanted this, but it didn't work out, so the law of attraction doesn't work. There's a divine presence, a divine knowing that is always guiding us to what's in our highest and best good. So if you're pushing for something and it's not happening, it doesn't mean you're never going to be happy or you're never going to have love. It just means it may be this is the time to have a new plan.
Continue to stay open to possibilities. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Because ultimately what we want is, we want to make ourselves happy first and foremost, and then we want to share ourselves with another who can add to that happiness. There's no human being out there that's going to make you happy. But what they can do is accentuate the happiness you already have. And you don't always know what's in your best interest. I mean, think about it. Think about the guy you dated 10 years ago that you were so crazy about, that you just would have given anything to make it go your way. And now in retrospect, now that you are happily married to your soulmate, you're so grateful you didn't get what you wanted, right? Everybody's had that experience. So if you're pursuing something or someone and it's not working, that just means there's another better plan for you. Stop chasing something that isn't working. Just because you think, oh my God, he's my soulmate. Mm-hmm. You know what? What you're looking for is not a feeling. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You are not looking for a feeling. You're looking for a soulmate life partner. Okay, so you could have all kinds of feelings for somebody, and they could be a terrible life partner for you. So it's really important to understand what love is. And I would guess that 97% of your audience is clueless as to what love is. They think love is a feeling. Oh, Cami, I know I love you. I can feel it. Mm-hmm. Well, what you're feeling when you think you're feeling love is what I call nature's trick. I also call it the socially acceptable form of insanity. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain when your brain is cascading dopamine and adrenaline and oxytocin, and you're in this altered state of feel-good drugs called the state of being in love. And it's not real, and it doesn't last. It lasts anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, and then it's gone. Real love, let's listen carefully here. Real love is a behavior. Oh. Real love is a practice. It's a decision. It's a choice. It's an action. Now, are there some good feelings attached to it? Yes, absolutely. But you could hate your soulmate on one day and still be committed to loving them. And chances are, if you are with your soulmate life partner, there will be days when you don't like them at all. And it doesn't mean they're not your soulmate, and it doesn't mean that you don't love them. But it's really important to understand that real adult mature love is not a feeling.
Well, I can hear people listening thinking something, because I've heard this so many times.
And that is, I really need to have that chemistry. I've heard you say that that's what drug addicts say, right?
I really need my drug. Okay, so you can go for that and have serial relationships, going for the high, going for that chemical high. Or if you want to have a long, healthy, happy life, you can go for a real relationship. So what is a real relationship? Is there chemistry involved? Yes. Is it the most important factor? Absolutely not. It's the least important factor. What is important? Communication, which can be learned. Compatibility. connection. What's most important? A shared vision for the future. Because that guy who's so hot and cute right now, he's going to age. He's going to put on 30, 40 pounds, and you probably will too, right? You know, all that hot chemistry. Well, yeah, depending on your age, that's chemistry. That's estrogen and testosterone. And I promise you, as soon as you hit your 40s and you're perimenopausal, that's going to start to fade, and it's going to be less important, because really what we're seeking isn't that, oh my God, mind-blowing orgasm. That's nice. It's great. What we're seeking is connection, intimacy, somebody who can be our best friend, our partner, our lover for life, our safe place to land, the witness to our lives, the parent to our children. That's what we're seeking. But we have it all messed up in, because we've watched too many movies and read too many fairy tales, is that we have to have this spine-bending, toe-curling, mind-blowing sex. And here's the really scary part. Chances are you may have already had the best sex you're ever going to have. You know, it may be that one night stand where there was so much mystery and drugs and alcohol involved, and it was wild and crazy, you know. But when you marry your soulmate life partner, you're going to have good sex, you're going to have bad sex, you're going to have interrupted sex, you're going to have gourmet sex, you're going to have, oh my God, don't touch me, but you're so horny, I'll let you do it anyway sex. And that's just the way life is.
Right.
So for those of you that are only going for chemistry, stop right now looking for your soulmate. Okay? I can't tell you. I studied Tantra, spiritual sex, for many years. And do you know what the thing I learned the most is? The people who are supposedly having the best sex on the planet, they're all divorced and they all cheated on each other.
Okay.
Every last one of them. You show me a Tantra instruction couple that's been monogamous and happily married for 40 years, and I'll take back everything I just said. They do not exist. Okay, but people get caught up in it. I got to have this chemistry. No, you want a drug high. Now, do you want to be attracted to them? Yes, of course you do. But it's not what you think it is. I made this mistake. This is how I know. I kept thinking the greatest benefit of finding my soulmate and getting married was that I could have sex every day. I thought that I wanted to have sex every day because I once had a relationship with this wildly sexual guy. We had sex every day. What I discovered, what my soul was calling for, was I wanted connection. I wanted intimacy. I wanted a real partner, not some guy who was going wild, not with me, but all my friends too. So that's what I have to say about that.
So if someone's listening to you describe what a soulmate is and what that looks like, what are the key steps that need to be kept in mind in order to go about manifesting one?
Well, I would say the thing that I see the most that stops women from having a relationship is their thoughts and beliefs about it. You know, so they have this belief that it's for everybody else, it's not for them, or that they shouldn't have to work hard to get it, or it should just happen organically, or if they were only going to lose 20 pounds, then they'd be ready, or if they were only going to stop being so self-critical, then they'd be ready. So this whole bullshit about you have to love yourself first is nonsense, okay? It's just complete, utter nonsense. Why? Every woman in the United States lives with a critical voice in her head that she's not good enough, she's not thin enough, she's not pretty enough, she's not smart enough, she's too smart, she's too successful, and they all keep thinking, if only I could change that, then I could have love. Yes. Here is the truth about soulmate love. Soulmates come together to heal each other. You will love yourself more once you see the love your soulmate has for you reflected back to you. That's where the healing is. So if you're waiting with any of those excuses thinking, well, then I'll be ready for love, you're just resisting love. It's just another excuse because you're afraid you're going to get hurt again. Are you going to get hurt again? Yes, I promise you, you're going to get hurt again. That's just how things are. I made a list today, Cami. I want to read you this list.
Please.
Okay. Jennifer Garner, Halle Berry, Gwen Stefani, Beyonce, Jennifer Aniston, Sandra Bullock, Christy Brinkley, Mariah Carey, Princess Di, and Eva Longoria. Do you know what they all have in common? What do you think they all have in common?
Well, they were all either left or cheated on.
All of them.
I believe.
The most beautiful, wealthiest, most talented women in the world have all been betrayed. So that's just life. So if you're thinking, I just can't go through this again, that's okay. Just know that you've just decided you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. You know?
Puts it in perspective.
Yeah. Beyonce. Who in their right mind would cheat on Beyonce?
Right.
The sexiest, most beautiful woman on the planet got cheated on.
Yeah.
Okay? If it can happen to her, it could happen to you. Does it mean it's the end of your life? It doesn't have to be. But you have to put on your big girl panties and decide, you know what? I deserve to be loved. I deserve to have a soulmate. I deserve to be happy. And I'm willing to put in the time and energy and effort and intention and attention to make it happen.
So what are the most important things if someone's out there dating and online dating or just out in the world dating, fix-ups? What's the most important thing that they should be doing in order
a couple of things.
Some potential suitors?
I wouldn't even look at it that way. I would look at it from the perspective of what is my soul most calling for in a partner? What are my must-haves and what are my deal breakers? You know, pick 3 of each, 3 must-haves. He's got to be honest and monogamous. He's got to be fun, loving, and compassionate. He has to lead a healthy lifestyle. Okay, those are 3 big must-haves. What are my deal breakers? I can't be with anybody that's a liar or cheater, that isn't financially responsible, and doesn't love to travel, whatever that is. So you have to have real clarity on what you want your life to look like. And then when somebody shows up and they're not that, don't waste any time. Don't think you're going to change them. That's the biggest mistake women have. They step over their own boundaries and decide, well, I can fix that. So you need to know what your must-haves and your deal breakers are. And then as you're dating, what I have found is that 99% of men tell the truth, and they tell the truth right up front. So if he says to you, well, I'm not really sure if I want kids, and you want kids, that's it. You can end the date right there. You could say, you know what, you're cute, you're funny, you're going to be a great catch for somebody, but I'm 39 years old and I want kids like tomorrow, so I'm going to leave, and it was great meeting you. That's a totally legitimate thing to do.
I think a lot of people hear that and they think, well, that's a maybe. So, maybe if I just give him a little time because he's so cute, he's so this, he's so that.
And then tomorrow you're going to be 40 with the maybe guy who said, don't you remember the first time we met, I told you I wasn't sure? Because his wasn't sure was his way of not saying no, because he knew that that's what you wanted. Mm-hmm. So he was going to hedge his bets. So then you're just being stupid. You can't afford to be stupid. Okay, manifesting your soulmate is the single most important thing you're ever going to do in your entire life. You have to be smart. You have to choose wisely. You have to ask good questions. Now, this doesn't mean you go in there and you interrogate a perfect stranger. Absolutely not. But you need to know in your own heart what your must-haves are. And if children is a must-have, or if international adventure travel is a must-have, and a guy shows up and he doesn't have a passport and has never been on an airplane, that should tell you something, okay? You have to pay attention, and you have to listen, and you have to get out of, what do they call that, magical thinking, that, I'll be the one who changes him.
So do you have languaging or a way a woman can share these desires on a date? And when should she do that?
What's the way to bring that up?
You're not going to bring this up on the first or second date. The first and second date, especially the first date, is just to discover whether or not he grosses you out. If he doesn't gross you out, then give him a second date, because most guys are really nervous on the first date. So you want to get to know them slowly. This is why it's fun to go out on lots of different dates. if you've been out 6 times and you can see, yes, he's a good person, and you're interested in things, then you could say, um, what do you think about kids? Do you like kids? Do you hang out with kids? Do you see yourself as a dad? And put it in that perspective. Let him think about him, not thinking about what you need or that your clock is ticking. Do you see yourself as a dad? What's your fantasy? If he says, yeah, I could be a dad, well, what would your perfect day as a dad be? Would you be coaching Little League or soccer or taking him to football games? What's your picture of that? And start hearing what his vision is to see if it matches with your vision. If it turns out that, your vision is, oh, I want my kid to go to public school and grow up a normal middle-class life, and you've got somebody who wants to send him to Harvard Westlake and go to Harvard, and become a doctor, that tells you something else. So dating is a discovery process. People think of it as an elimination process.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really negative way to approach it. I always tell people, if you're going to go out on a date, I want you to find 3 great things you loved about this person, as if you had to call me when you get home from your date and share with me what you loved about this person. Because the way to be successful in dating and anything else is to always be looking for what's right instead of looking for what's wrong.
Looking for what's right and the discovery process, but at the same time, also having your deal breakers. So there could be some really wonderful things about this person, and he has some of the deal breakers.
Right. And you go out to dinner and he drinks 2 bottles of wine and you had half a glass. You could say, is tonight a special occasion where you're really enjoying the grape, or is this sort of a lifestyle thing? So you're not saying it with any judgment, like I think you're drunk. You're just asking a question. And some people can handle their liquor and some can. Has his energy changed? Has his behavior changed? Like my husband can easily drink a bottle of wine and I've never seen him high. He just loves wine. Yeah. And he can also not drink for months at a time. But you need to ask questions, but ask them from a place of curiosity. You're looking for information. You're not looking to judge or make anybody wrong.
Something's coming to me because I've heard you speak about this before, and I know it's something that a lot of women have a concern about, and that is they want to find a man who is spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So men experience and express spirituality different than we do. So women out there today who go to hot yoga, meditate, chant, drink green drinks, all believe that they're spiritual, especially when they're reading Deepak Chopra books. Well, I'm spiritual. This is what I do. And what happens is they meet some guy who's coaching Little League and on the board of Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And because he's never done yoga and he's never meditated, they say he's not spiritual. So these women become really judgmental bitches, honestly. They do. They think that they're holier than thou. They become spiritually arrogant because they have these practices that they consider spirituality. Now, men may never do any of these things, but if they're living their life on purpose as a conscious man, and they're there to protect you, and they're devoted to you, and they're going to be your biggest cheerleader, what is not spiritual about that? So the women who say, well, he's got to be on a spiritual path, I think have got it all wrong. I mean, let's just talk about Russell Simmons for a moment, okay? One of the richest men in the world, who has written books on meditation, who is now being accused not just of sexual assault, he's being accused of rape. Now, is he a spiritual man? Well, he's got an amazing yoga practice. He teaches meditation. And I can't tell you how many quote-unquote New Age guys I've met who drink green drinks and they only eat raw vegan and they teach other guys how to be shamans, and they're pedophiles. I have met these men. Okay, they exist. So it's really important to ask yourself this question when you have something that's going to go on your soulmate wish list. And that is, will this contribute to my long-term happiness? Whether or not your guy meditates does not contribute to your long-term happiness. Whether or not he can manage his stress does contribute to your long-term happiness. And for most men, the best way for them to manage stress is to watch sports on TV or to play sports or to go work out, because that's how they rebuild testosterone and that's how they manage their stress. Now, for you and I, taking an aromatherapy bath, doing some EFT tapping,
Right.
Getting a foot massage, getting our hair done, going shopping, that's how we manage stress, because those things build oxytocin, which is what we need to reduce our stress and cortisol levels. So this whole thing is he's got to be spiritual. I dated a meditation teacher for a while, long ago. That ended the night he told me something that had me fall off my chair, which was, I'd rather meditate than have sex. And
Oh
he
boy.
wasn't kidding. He wasn't kidding. That's what's true for him. Now, we're still friends. He came to my wedding. My husband thinks he's one of the greatest guys in the world. He is. He is a Vedic astrologer and a meditation teacher. He's a great guy. But I
And
didn't want
spiritual.
to. But it's a little too spiritual.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for talking about that, because I think a lot of women rule out guys for that reason, and that's a more expansive way of looking at spirituality.
Well, what is spirituality? Spirituality is being able to go into your heart, be generous, compassionate, kind, loving, giving of yourself, being selfless, doing what Jesus did, and I'm Jewish and I still think people need to do what Jesus did, like be a giving, loving person.
Yeah.
Acting spiritual. Spirituality is a behavior, is more important than what books you're reading.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And you also talk about this concept of living as if.
Yes.
So how can that help to get to love faster, this idea of living as if?
Sure. So let's talk about quantum science for a second. In quantum science, there are a couple of things that they all agree on. The first one is there is no time. There's no past. There's no future. There is just this now moment. Linear time is a human construct. We just have this now moment. Also in quantum science, we all exist in a field. And in this field, we are already connected to everything and everybody. So right now, in this now moment, in the field, you are already connected to your soulmate. Your soulmate is not missing. Now, you can't see them. You don't know their name. You're not supposed to know how and when you're going to meet them in the 3D world. But you can close your eyes, drop into your heart, and begin a conversation with them right now. Begin a connection with them right now. I call this love before first sight. So your soulmate is not missing, right? We've just established that. Your soulmate is not missing. So when you're living as if, you're living with the knowing, trusting, and faith that you are already connected to your soulmate. Therefore, your behavior needs to be a reflection of this belief. What does that look like? That means you are not having random, casual sex with someone you know is not your soulmate. Why? Because if you're already connected to your soulmate, you would then be cheating on them. You might go into a store and buy them birthday cards and anniversary cards and Valentine's Day cards and I love you just because cards, knowing that at the appropriate time you will hand them these cards. You could be buying tickets to concerts and plays that you would like to see with them. And if they haven't arrived just yet, you take a girlfriend or take your mother or take your neighbor, but living as if is that your behavior matches up with your belief.
So it sounds like the idea of living as if is another way to also support accountability, because we can all find so many reasons to not go out on the date or to not go to that party or whatever it is. So do you think that living as if is also another way to give ourselves that gentle accountability?
And not only are you seeking your soulmate is seeking you, which means you have to be visible. If you're home on the couch watching the Kardashians The only person who's going to find you is the UPS delivery guy, who probably is not the ideal life partner for you, right? So it means that, am I too tired to get up and get dressed? Well, maybe, but let me go take a shower and go anyway. I can always leave early. It's about making an effort, and it's about making time, and really, what are your priorities? And is this the right time in your life to be dating? It may not be. If you're a single mom with a bunch of kids and aging parents that are sick and a really high pressure job, stop thinking about dating. You do not have the time or energy right now. But if you're in control of your life and you can make the time, then I would say the minimum commitment, if you're serious about manifesting love, the minimum commitment is 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. If you're not willing to make that minimum commitment, then it's not your priority. Okay, anybody can find 30 minutes. And I recommend that you make it sacred time. You do the same time every day to go online, to check on things, to reach out to new people, to make plans with people, to go on coffee dates, to take a walk through a new park. And for God's sakes, don't take your cell phone with you when you're doing all this stuff. When you're like this in the line at Starbucks, no one's going to talk to you. Okay? Whatever's on that phone is not as important as your future. So start to be present, start to be aware. If there's some guy standing in line in front of you, whether you think he's interesting or not, give him a compliment. Just say, you know what, somebody must really love you to have given you that blue shirt because it looks great with your eyes.
Practicing.
Practice flirting.
Yes.
You can practice with anybody, whoever's standing next to you. I was in the store the other day and I had on this raspberry shirt, and this complete stranger woman said to me, "Oh my God, that's your color." And I said, "I know, I just love this color, and you look great in turquoise." Start interacting with the world. Stop looking at your phone.
Well, I think women think there's this thing that, the man needs to talk to me first. And, there are all these rules that we've heard about, So what you're talking about is the complete opposite. What do you think about
We're not telling you to pick him up. Yeah. I'm telling you it's a friendly gesture. It's not like you're stalking him. You just notice something. Men want to be noticed, just like we want to be noticed and we want to be complimented. So do they, and you shouldn't even have an agenda, even if he is a great looking guy. All you're saying is, wow, that is a very cool watch you have on. What kind is it? You're being curious, and if he happens to ask you another question and says, "Hey, do you want to sit down and have a latte together?" You can say, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea," as if he thought of it.
Right.
Okay. But guys are shy. They're shy. So all this stuff, he's got to make the first move. Should he be the first one to ask you out on an official date? Yes, I agree with that. But can you start a conversation? Absolutely.
So I'm just looking at the time. I want to make sure we're respectful of yours. And so can you tell us, just to wrap up here, what is feathering the nest and why is that important?
Okay, so feathering the nest is getting your home ready for love. And even if you think you're never going to live in this place with your soulmate that you live in now, it's still an important thing to do. So it's about getting rid of the clutter, getting rid of the old energy, literally making space for somebody else in your life. Make sure that the nightstand on their side of the bed is empty. Make sure there's a drawer in the dresser empty for them. Give them a little space in the closet. Give them half a shelf in the bathroom cabinet. Because when you do this, you're sending a clear message to the universe. I'm ready, and I literally have space in my life for somebody else.
And I know that you have an idea about what people should do with keepsakes.
If someone has a necklace, or rings, or earrings from an ex-partner.
Well, those are two different things. So if you have souvenirs and photographs of you with ex-lovers, get rid of them, or at least hide them somewhere. Because even if you don't look at them every day, they're triggering you on an unconscious level. If you have jewelry given to you by an ex, stop wearing it. Jewelry, gemstones, gold, silver, platinum, all carry energy, and they keep you connected to the past. So either give the jewelry away, sell the jewelry, or go put it somewhere outside your house, and when you're happily married to your soulmate, then you can decide whether or not it's safe for you to wear this jewelry.
Yeah, I know sometimes people have a ring and they just put it on the other hand.
Right, as if men make the distinction. Oh, no, she's not married because that big diamond is on the right hand, not the left hand. They don't think that way. If they see a big diamond on your hand, they assume you're not available. And the truth is you're not. As long as you're holding on to that past jewelry, you haven't let go.
That's powerful. Powerful. Thank you for everything that you've brought us today.
I would just want to let people know I've got a ton of free stuff at my website.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yeah, if you go to soulmatesecret.com, I've got a little book cover on the home page of my coloring book, Inspirations. If you click on that, it'll take you to a free half-hour video on how to manifest a soulmate by coloring. There's also a tab on the top of the homepage of soulmatesecret.com called Free Stuff. And there's tons of goodies there. So just go and download all of those things, all those resources. And the thing I just want to leave all your people with is this. Finding the soulmate is not only possible, it's so much easier today than it's ever been. It couldn't be any easier. It's like one-click shopping on Amazon. All it requires is your ability to put in the time and the energy and to let people like Cami coach you how to do that. Cami knows all this stuff inside out. She made it happen in her own life. So you can do this. And if you're not doing it, just get honest with yourself that either you're too scared or now is not the time, and stop and don't beat yourself up over it. But if you know you're ready, if your biggest number one goal for 2018 is to find the love of your life, it's easier than you think, but you have to participate.
Great advice. Thank you, Arielle. Make sure that you take advantage of all of the gifts that Arielle's been talking about. You can also find the link below this audio or video that you're watching right now in order to take advantage of Arielle's gifts. And I want to thank all of you who have been participating with us, listening and watching the Ultimate Love Life Makeover Summit. And I want to remind you to take advantage of the VIP package. You can learn more about that below on this page, or by going to ultimateloveliFemakeover.com/VIP. And that allows you to listen to today's talk with Arielle as much as you like, and to take advantage of all of the other content from all of the speakers whenever you wish. So be sure you do that, and make sure you come back and join us for more of the Ultimate Love Life Makeover. Thanks again, and thanks, Arielle.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.